Schizoid individuals tend to value thinking over feeling, and this is primarily because we have defenses in place that have caused us to become emotionally detached from other people and also from objects in our physical environment. For this reason, we tend to overvalue our thought process and devalue engagement with the physical world. Our libidinal ego, which is our driving force to seek pleasure from the external world, instead of being attached to objects in the external world, tends to be attached to our thought process, which means that we can really enjoy thinking and get a lot out of our thoughts and ideas. Because we live primarily within our minds, this means that we tend to engage in processes such as intellectualization, rationalization, and this can mean that we more heavily rely on logic when making decisions and also when communicating with other people. The problem with this is that we can often think things in a rational way that lacks consideration of other people's feelings. And so it's quite easy to come out with a statement that we believe to be true that offends other people. The problem with offending other people is that they do value their feelings and emotions and they tend to become quite upset. When people get upset, they feel hurt and they tend to want to hurt you back. And so you could innocently say something to someone that you believe to be true, hurt them, and then end up in a situation where that person has now got an agenda towards reaping some sort of retribution on you. Because of this, schizoid individuals have learned to be careful who we share our thoughts with. Because schizoid individuals tend not to adhere to society norms within our true self, this means that we tend to have a different value system from the rest of society. We tend to judge society as outsiders, so we're outside looking in. When we tend to judge people on a rational level, this can be quite critical. Along with valuing thinking and logic and rationalization, this can mean that we're high in critical thinking. And so some of our views and opinions can seem harsh to other people. Over time, as I said before, we learn that it's not really safe for us to express our true thoughts to others. There are some situations, of course, where we're dealing with people that aren't easily offended or who aren't high in feelings. And in those situations, we can find that we're more free to express what we think. when other people are hurt and offended, they don't always show this immediately. Sometimes they can harbour grudges, and over time they can seek to do things to get you back. For me, I found that a lot of times people have been hurt and I didn't realise it. And after a while, I realised they've been embarking on a set of actions to get me back or hurt me on some level to even the score. The thing is that because it's going over my head and I'm not really reading that this person is trying to be offensive to me, and the reason why I'm not reading is because of the detachment from emotions that I mentioned earlier, that I'm not really feeling the impact, and also I may judge things differently. People tend to do things that would hurt them to you. Now, when you're schizoid, you're operating on a different system. So what may hurt the average person may not hurt you. So when they're engaging in these tactics to hurt you and get you back, it's often just missing the point, because they don't really know who they're trying to attack and they don't really know how to hurt you. Also, because of our defenses, it's harder for us to be hurt by other people. The problem with this is that when they don't get the hurt response from you that they're looking for, that they can then ramp up their attack. So they can become more persistent in trying to hurt you, or they can escalate it to more and more harder or harsher ways of treatment in order to try to get you to elicit some sort of hurt emotional response. They can become very angry when they can't hurt you, or when they cannot see a heart response coming from you. And this can just lead to further bad feelings on their part. For me, when I do realise, and the way I realise that somebody is trying to hurt me is because I work it out, I figure it out by understanding that person's behaviour patterns, and also understanding what society considers to be the sort of things that should hurt you. And then I work out that, okay, now their behaviour makes sense. They're doing these things because they're trying to hurt me. And just knowing that, well, because sometimes their behaviour can be a bit like, why are they doing this, why are they doing that? And then you put the pieces together and you realise, okay, they're trying to hurt me, they're trying to be offensive. When I realised that, it doesn't really make any difference, but it will affect like my decision making in terms of whether to see that person again, or how frequently I'm exposed to that person, etc., etc. So yeah, being rational in what can seem like a very irrational world can be quite challenging as a schizoid individual.